So, wow. I've just realised something. I've just had a look. I'm going to put evidence of it in my YouTube posts. Remember the other day I had that dream called the military plane to nowhere. And I was talking about how me and my friend landed at the airport at 3 a.m. And I posted on X, 3 a.m. is important somehow. Something's going to happen at 3 a.m. and I need to document the fact that I'm being told to pay attention to something at 3 a.m. That dream that I just recorded, the Eye of the Tiger, I recorded at 3 a.m. And if you look at the thread that I put on X, it is all to do with Donald Trump and Keir Starmer and the incident with Bella One, which involved the Royal Navy. And I had put up evidence yesterday in my post in regards to Queen Elizabeth stamping her foot and causing the ground to shake. She was standing on Windsor Castle and she stomped her foot and the ground shook. And then the other day I got a nosebleed out of nowhere, and whenever I get a random nosebleed, for me, it means an earthquake. And I said, it feels like it's in the Middle East, Persia area, and then they had that earthquake in Israel near the nuclear testing plants, right? The dream that I had about the military plane to nowhere was rounding up people who were going to be taken to a Guantanamo Bay style holding place to await military trials for crimes against the king, which also ties back into becoming spellbound, where Kierkegaard, I haven't got a name for him yet, and Baron von Friedrich von Krumpel, who was extradited to the United Kingdom, faced trials to do with high treason against the king and the people of Great Britain. In the dream that I had where the Queen was standing on Windsor Castle, it was during Trump's state visit, when I started working on the whole Pegasus codes thing, where then after he left, Starmer started talking about the digital IDs and all of that. One of the things that I said in the dream was, are there secret investigations going on about Starmer? And now I'm thinking, the dream that I just had talking about get ready, there's going to be an uprising. I'm telling you now, I keep saying it over and over and over again, but the king is going to have Starmer arrested for high treason. He's going to be done for high treason, and members of his government are going to be done for high treason, for crimes against the Crown and the people of Great Britain, for putting their allegiance to Israel and Donald Trump and the EU before their allegiance to the King. Which is why in my Eye of the Tiger dream I was saying they were like American military, British military. It's all to do with what's coming. I'm telling you now, people. And then because in my military plane to nowhere dream, I said I need to document 3 a.m. And then the Eye of the Tiger dream was recorded, was sent out at 3 a.m. So either someone is about to, or someone already is, investigating what happened between Keir Starmer and Donald Trump regarding the Bella One when they followed it from Venezuela, a whole conspiracy. I think I'm going to be proven that I told the truth and that they were planning on, since Tony Blair, overthrowing the monarchy and getting rid of the monarchy so that they could sell the Commonwealth off to the European Federation and Israel and all that. Now the Queen's dream, with the Queen where she stomped her foot on Windsor Castle, now I think I know what she was saying. You are not going to send my people to war. You are not going to start a nuclear war. You are not taking my people to war. No. And stomping on the fact it was Windsor Castle, and in the dream I said it knocks King Charles over, but then God stands him back up. She's trying to wake Charles up, trying to wake everyone up to say, look what that man's doing, Keir Starmer, and this needs to stop. Because he's about to hand Israel. He's about to hand Great Britain over to Israel. And the military plane to nowhere dream and my Eye of the Tiger dream is talking about everyone coming together to hold military trials for Keir Starmer's government and Donald Trump's administration in their plan to overthrow the British monarchy. That'll be why he held up the towel that said Royal Navy, because remember all of this Bella One nonsense, that the reports that I found had children on board, not oil, or not just oil, had children on board. They said it was empty, and yet he somehow was selling oil to Qatar. But anyway, there were children on board. And this was all done to set up a greater plan to overthrow the monarchy, to have a reason to put more military bases on British soil, to take over Dartmoor, which the king owns, because there's lithium mines there, blah, blah, blah. This will be why the dream that I just recorded had the veterans and he held up the towel with the Royal Navy, 3 a.m. I'll put the links in the description box. But that dream that I just recorded, Eye of the Tiger, is letting the people of Great Britain know something massive is coming in regards to Keir Starmer and his government, and the result of which is going to be military trials involving America, and it's got something to do with what they just tried to pull off with that Bella One and Russia. And that's what my Eye of the Tiger dream was about. But the military plane to nowhere dream specifically said 3 a.m. and that's the time I recorded this morning's dream. So we're being told that massive arrests are about to be made. I remember in the dream that I had where it was Trudeau and Ardern that were being rounded up as well. There were about 150 people, but they were all like politicians, prime ministers and stuff. They get the big ones first. They get the leaders first. They arrest all the prime ministers in that first and charge them with high treason because of their plot to kill the Queen and to take down the British royal family so that they could sell off the Commonwealth to the EU, i.e. Israel, because they're all puppets of Israel. That's what it's all been about. And when I remembered 3 a.m., I'm like, oh my God. So I checked to see what time I recorded that video and it was 3 a.m. and I'm like, that's what it's talking about. I'm telling you now, Keir Starmer and his government, like Lammy, West Streeting, Rachel Reeves, Yvette Cooper and all that, they're all about to get arrested. If it's not going on already, it's about to. Someone has believed me. Someone is looking into what I said. And they're going to find out I'm telling the truth and they're going to take it to the king. If it's not the king himself, I'm telling you now, someone's believed me and I am being told to let you all know by God himself. Remember in the dream that I just recorded, the old lady gave me that card and she said, and when I interpreted it, I said like a blessing from God out of nowhere, 3 a.m. Because remember I said there was numbers on the back of the card, 3 a.m. The blessing from God is that, from what I'm thinking, the blessing from God out of nowhere, this blessing that comes out of nowhere is me remembering that on my airplane ticket when Lisa Jorgensen and I landed at the airport, which would absolutely, when you're interpreting dreams, you on your way. You're like being on your way. And because in the dream I was going home back to New Zealand. And then in the Eye of the Tiger dream, I was at my old family home. So the old lady giving me the card, I think, is me being reminded of the 3 a.m. Remember when you said 3 a.m. was going to be important, and I knew it was important enough that I had to document it on X to say, I mean, you'll see the screenshots. So I'm being told to let the people of Great Britain know Keir Starmer's about to be arrested. His government are about to be arrested because I exposed the plot to kill the monarchy, remove the monarchy, abolish the monarchy, so that they could do with what they will with Great Britain for their puppet masters in Israel. And you'll see the post from yesterday with the Queen where she's standing on Windsor Castle at the very time Donald Trump was there, and she stomped her foot and she said, no! And she stomped her foot so hard the ground shook. And then I had that random nosebleed. Every time I get one, there's an earthquake. And where was the earthquake recorded? Israel. I said it feels like somewhere like Persia or the Middle East. And the earthquake was recorded in Israel, right over their nuclear testing thing. And Starmer wants to get hold of nuclear power. So the Queen caught them out. Maybe that's why it was the old lady Nana as well. Because it's like, if Starmer gets his way, Harry's going off to war. Harry's going to be sent to war. And so she's stomping her foot and saying, no, you're not sending my sons. That could be why in the dream she was a little old lady who handed me that card. It could have been like the Queen being represented as like, because yeah. Because in the dream she was a little old lady with white hair, where you know she goes and gets it permed all the time. She had a cane. And I think the Queen did start using a cane. And she opened the car, which was weird because like she looked like she was in her 90s and just a sort of a woman in her 90s driving. But the Queen did love to drive, and she handed me the card. And she said, and on the back was numbers. And she said, buy whatever you need. You can have whatever you want. Just buy whatever you want. And I said to her, I'll pay you back when the money gets in the bank. And she said, no, don't worry about it. And I said, well, she said, would you like to come to church with me? And I said, oh my God, I would love that. And then I said, well, because she didn't want me paying her back. So I said, well, after church, why don't you come to my house and have Sunday lunch with me and the boys? And in my head, even in the dream, I was thinking, well, I can do like a nice Sunday roast dinner, and I'll make some nice cakes, and she can take the cakes home, and I can show her like my cakes, like all the baking that I do, and she can take some of my jam. And that's what I'm thinking in the dream. And the Queen, in the original dream that I had with her, where number 10 Downing Street was wrapped in brown paper, and she was hiding under the bridge with the children laughing. She was adamant that King Charles would like my chocolate Afghans. So I'm wondering now whether the old lady in the dream was the Queen and I didn't realise it. But it all goes back to, like, all the dreams are starting to tie in together. So I'm telling you now, people, I know this sounds like a bit out there, but my codes are never wrong, and now my codes are all starting to bleed into each other. Keir Starmer and members of his government are about to be arrested. They're going to be arrested. Somebody's investigating something I said in regards to what they did with that Bella One thing with Donald Trump, because so many things fell into place after that event where I discovered what they were planning to do with Dartmoor, how they lied about the gases in the prisons and all of that, and how they've been strategically placing American military bases around the United Kingdom since World War II. And remember, I've been talking about she's protective of her veterans. She is a veteran. She was a veteran of World War II. She served in the army. She fixed trucks and stuff. She was a mechanic. She was very proud of serving in the British Army during World War II. Her veterans are everything to her. And what Keir Starmer's been doing with the military to help Donald Trump help Israel, I think has caught up with him. So Keir Starmer, I know you're listening to everything intently. You better get ready, little man, because you're about to get arrested. You've been caught out. The Queen is making sure that you're going to be held responsible for what you've turned her country into and what you've forced her family to endure. It's bad enough that you and your lot were involved in her death, but the fact that you're trying to go after her boy as well and then threaten her mokos to send her kids off to war and that, she's putting her foot down. The Queen has come down. And that'll be why when I was interpreting the last dream, I said like a blessing out of nowhere. Well, the blessing is the Queen's just popped up on that TV screen and becoming spellbound, and she's saying to Charles, don't swallow the poison. They're all about to get arrested. And that military plane to nowhere, they were rounding up Americans, they were rounding up French, German, Scandinavian, British, they were all being rounded up. There was like bus after bus after bus, taking these people, piling them on the buses, and then putting them on the plane to nowhere. So my King's Army dream, my King's Law dream, the dream with her at Windsor Castle stomping, the plane to nowhere, my 2007, all my dreams are starting to come into land, and all the codes, the algorithm, when they're interpreted into English, into language, is saying Keir Starmer and his government are about to get arrested. Somebody's investigating what he did. Somebody is following up on my claims. And they're about to find proof that I was telling the truth and that I uncovered a massive plot to overthrow the monarchy. A silent coup, it was called. And I said, I'm being like, I have to document 3 a.m.'s going to be important somehow. And that's when I had my Eye of the Tiger dream. And what did Totem Tiger mean? Seeing beyond the veil. Seeing, having second sight. So get ready, because poop's about to hit the fan for Keir Starmer and his government, and they're not going to have anywhere to hide. You can't hide from Tiger Totem. Tiger Totem hides from you. They're the master of camouflage. Oh my God, it's about to get exciting. I'm telling you now. And then what happens is every law that he's brought in since he was in office will be undone, because they'll all be considered illegitimate. They'll be illegal. And then they're all going to get sent off to military tribunals, and they're going to bring Donald Trump and that in on it too, because they're all in on the plot to overthrow the monarchy, to get rid of the monarchy. Someone's looking, I'm telling you, someone's looking, because it's in the dream with the Queen, where she stamps on the roof of Windsor Castle. And Charles got knocked over, but God stood him back up again. Which means like it's going to have an effect on him. It's going to have a negative effect on him. But the fact that God stood him up is he's not going to be, he's innocent. All in the description box. I'll put it all in the post, in my YouTube post, but that's what 3 a.m. was about. Now we knowed. Oh my God, this is getting so exciting, because I've been told to stand down. I'm not allowed to post anything on social media. I've been told just concentrate on YouTube. I've gone in and made a couple of comments on other people's posts, but I haven't posted anything, because I'm being told don't post anything, concentrate on YouTube. And that's what I'm doing. and sitting in my little bubble waiting for this news. Now I know what the news is that I'm waiting for. I've had my suspicions. There's been times where I've thought before that this was going to happen, where the king would, finally do the right thing, and he hasn't. But whether he does the right thing or not, retribution is coming for Starmer and his government, and it's coming straight from God and Queen Elizabeth. I love it. I love that woman. She's a saucy minx. She's not giving up. She's like Nandor the Relentless, that one. I love her to pieces. She's my silent partner in crime.